Hola amigos, traemos de nuevo otro video del gran Stuart Surlow. Vamos a estar traduciendo varios videos de Surlow intermitentemente en el canal porque la información que tiene pues ex conejillo de indias del experimento Montauk y un visualizador de cuestiones del campo espiritual y todos estos pues elementos que hacen de Surlow muy especial, canalizador, etcétera. Tiene bastantes talentos que desarrolló durante 18 años de estar metido en el experimento Montauk tratando de ver el mundo. Pues lo obligaron prácticamente, ya pueden ver la serie de videos de Surlow en este canal, a prácticamente estar ciego y ver nada más las líneas energéticas del campo electromagnético del mundo invisible. Sin más, los dejo con este excelente análisis de lo que está pasando en la galaxia, la lucha cósmica manifestándose en estos momentos, que es muy interesante para lo que se viene. Realmente habla de todo en esta conferencia que vamos a estar subiendo intermitentemente del gran Stuart Surlow. Amigos, recuerden, este es nuestro blog, fritzspringmeyer.blogspot.com. Lo vamos a seguir actualizando. Estamos también en las redes sociales tradicionales y por supuesto en Patreon subiendo contenido extra interesante y análogo en su portal favorito. Agradezco como siempre a los patrocinadores y agradezco que sigan el canal Fritz Springmeyer en español. Muchísimas gracias y que pasen una excelente tarde. Stuart Surlow.
Subsequent to that and behind the scenes, the United States and the Soviet Union had a joint space project where they actually used alien technology to go to the moon and to the planet Mars. And to this day, there are joint American-Russian bases on the moon and on Mars. And I will also tell you, and some of you know this already, the moon is an artificial object. It is not natural. It was driven into space here eons ago by the Draco reptilians to colonize the Earth. And I will tell you that the technology that you see with the space projects, lunar landings, Mars landings, all of these, is for show. The actual technology is hundreds, if not thousands of years ahead of what is shown to the public. And I will also tell you that the Germans in World War II had extensive help and technology given to them by beings from the star system of Aldebaran. And the Aldebaran beings claimed that they were responsible after the destruction of Atlantis to genetically create what became known as the Teutonic races and even the Scandinavian races, and give them the information to become very technological. The Germans documented this, and if any of you can read German, I do recommend a book called Flugscheiben über das Schwabenland, which is about the German interaction with this group and how they helped them to create the Vrillcraft and to actually establish a base on the dark side of the moon, which is still there. And I will also tell you that there is a Fourth Reich. But the Germans, the Fourth Reich, the real Fourth Reich, are located on this planet in Antarctica, in a base in New Schwabenland, which is in the Queen Maud area of Antarctica. You can look that up on a map. They are in league. This Fourth Reich is in league with the beings in the Kuiper Belt. The objective, from my perspective, of this collective in the Kuiper Belt is to remove the Illuminati. And the reason they want to remove the Illuminati is not because of love, light, and peace and to help mankind. And I'm going to try to explain to you, I know some of you may not want to listen or believe, but there are no alien races here that are trying to help you. Each of them has an agenda. The benevolent races don't interfere. They simply observe and see what happens. But you should know that in this galaxy and beyond, the Earth is the Iraq or Syria of the galaxy. And so there are those who wish to liberate us, since we did such a fine job in Iraq, and they're so free and happy now, that maybe that these Kuiper Belt beings want to do the same for us. But let me tell you, it's because they're concerned about what we are doing here on this planet. As you know, there are certain alien groups who have given technology to particular governments who have an agenda of globalization and to create a new galactic empire with the Earth as its capital. And contrary to what you may have been taught in the so-called New Age, which, by the way, the New Age was created by the U.S. government in 1965, New Age says that the Illuminati want to kill most of the Earth's population and reduce to 500 million. You've heard this one, yes? It's not true. Listen, the Illuminati did not spend, I don't know how many gazillions of dollars and how many centuries or thousands of years and all this time and effort to create 7.5 billion slaves to then destroy them. That would make no sense. So what the intention is, as this galactic empire is developed, to relocate huge amounts of the population from this planet to new colonies elsewhere to expand the empire. That's the point, see? And that's why they have, you must have heard of the Mars One project, where they're asking for volunteers to go one way to Mars, you know. That's to get you used to the idea of leaving the Earth and starting life over again elsewhere. But this will never happen because Mars is already colonized, and if they ever got there, they would be a big surprise for them. The advanced force. Let me explain. There are, let's look at the numbers. We have approximately over 100 billion stars in this galaxy, and there are approximately over 100 billion galaxies in the universe. So you can do the math, how many stars there are. Then, if even 1/10 of 1% of that stars has intelligent life, that's still so many hundreds of millions of civilizations. It's not, you can't even comprehend. Then times that by infinite universes, both physical and non-physical, and you can imagine that we are not alone. And they can travel the way I described earlier. But the government has classified aliens into 4 basic categories. Insectoid is one of them. The gray aliens are another, second. Humanoid is a third, and the reptoid is the 4th. Now, there are others, yes, but these 4 categories are the ones that are generally accepted by most world governments as what is interacting with the world. But something to know about. In the Kuiper Belt, there is also a hierarchy of control. And the advanced force in the Kuiper Belt is insectoid, because these have hive mind, and these do create action under jurisdiction of the mind control, which is normal to them. And they're also very aggressive, so that they are the most, the best type of alien being to use as an invasion force. And you notice what I'm saying, invasion force. Now, I mentioned earlier a staged alien invasion, which, in my opinion, will happen this year, because they're already giving you information on CNN and BBC and Fox News. They're telling you, oh, we're going to see alien life in your lifetime, and there are 400 million Earth-like planets in this galaxy, and they're telling you information. They're giving you information to prepare you for the staged alien invasion, which will use Blue Beam Project, which, you know, will create holographic images in the ionosphere so that you will think the Earth is being invaded by UFOs, etc. They will have laser beam weapons from satellites, which will bombard the Earth, and you will think it's from spaceships, but it's coming from your government. Now, Blue Beam is an old technology. It was first tested in 1962 on the coast of Havana Harbor in Cuba, because a U.S. submarine was testing this off the coast of Cuba and projected an image of the Blessed Virgin Mary over Havana Harbor, because this was to disrupt the communist atheistic government and make people believe that it was wrong and they should overthrow the government. So imagine, 1962, U.S. had the capability to create such an image. Now, what is it, 50 some odd years later, you can just imagine what the technology has advanced into. They can create now holographic images that can be picked up on radar, that create sound, that you can actually feel. And that is what you can expect, I think, in the next 6 months. The mantids, this has become a rather popular group in the last couple of years. However, these beings claim to be from alternate version of Earth. They claim that Earth is their planet. Well, so do many of the other civilizations. But they are, the ones you see here depicted, this one here with the robe, these are hybrids. These are a genetic blend between the mantid race and humanoid race to create a more humanistic-looking creature. Whereas the ones I describe in my Blue Blood book and in my Montauk Alien Connection book look more like what you see here at the bottom right of the screen. They're very insectoid. They are at least 2 meters high. Most of them are either green or white color, and they emit a very high-sounding chirping noise which can become quite irritating. Very much like my ex-wife. I told you about my humor. You have to... Hopefully she'll never see the video of this. These are just another version of the insect. Now, yeah, these are other types of beings in the Kuiper Belt. Many have reported lionesque beings, cat-like beings, very many kinds of different animalistic type of beings that are there. And again, they all have an agenda of changing the political system of the Earth. Now, I want to go back to what I said to you earlier about the staged alien invasion and then the formation of the New World Government, also New World Religion, etc. But the Kuiper Belt beings, those who are there, they are going to wait till that's all finished. And then there will be a real invasion. And the real invasion will remove the political system of this planet. Well, but wait. A couple of years ago, I was in Latvia, and I asked somebody there, I said, what was better for you, the German occupation or Soviet occupation? And the woman said to me, that's like asking, would you rather have a heart attack or a stroke? Because the end result is the same, yes? So, yes, the Kuiper Belt will remove Illuminati if they don't leave beforehand, but there's another, it's just another control system. Maybe a little more benevolent, but the perspective that I see and what I have been told is that since the Fourth Reich is in league with the beings in the Kuiper Belt, they will give the Earth to them, to the Fourth Reich, as a control system. So that's something also to be aware of. And I will tell you, and you may have read this in my work, 1938 to 1944, the Germans built the paradise for the Führer in Antarctica. And there are many tunnel systems that go from South Africa and South America and lead into Antarctica. to what they call Base 211 or New Berlin. And just, was it last week, they discovered in the jungles of South America Nazi bases. Did you read about that? And where did you read about it first? In my Blue Blood book, because I described the series of German bases that were built before the war, from the late 1920s through the 30s, throughout the Andean range, all the way to South America, and in South Africa. You know, I was in, a couple of years ago, I was in Namibia, and it's completely German. It's in Southwest Africa, but I thought I was in Bavaria. And they are waiting, and they have told me they are waiting for the Germans to come back. When I did my lecture in Cape Town, an Afrikaner woman came up to me, and she said, "You remind me of our prophets." And I didn't know who those prophets were. And she said, "Our prophets have told us that when things get really bad for white people in South Africa, then the Germans will come up through a hole in the Kalahari Desert and save us."